Greetings and welcome back to a brand new video. As you can see, I am back with a whole new look here, a brand new character who isn't really all that new, but he's going to be the face of this channel going forward, I believe. And yeah, you could see it's a bit of a work in progress. We've got flat colors in this video, we've got one expression. I just want to put videos out before I actually finish this sort of stuff, or I feel like it's just never gonna get done, because the stuff I've already got lined up here is stale by this point. The story times are gonna be a little stale for a while as I catch up, and I could reminisce and talk about old stories too. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that like it's crazy working at a movie theater, because it really isn't. It's a pretty normal line of work, actually. Maybe a bit easy, maybe a bit simple compared to some of you who work at coffee shops or crack dens. But anyway, I'd just like to talk about a guy we fired a couple months back. His name was Taebyn, and normally I might not be ready to divulge that sort of information. I know it's just a first name. It's, you know, not the worst doxing in the world, but given certain circumstances, I kind of find it's not really that bad to reveal certain information. I wouldn't be making a video saying so-and-so got fired if they were just fired for being late for work or anything like that. No, Taebyn got fired for making racist, homophobic, like just absolutely insane remarks about various people regarding all sorts of things. I think racism alone is just grounds for dismissal, and not only that, it's worth talking about. And apparently, a lot of people still contact him. A lot of people still follow him. He had the nerve to say, "Oh, I've heard other people say worse. I don't get what the big deal is." He was complaining about it online, on his Facebook, on social media. And apparently he's a huge fan of Andrew Tate, and I don't know why that surprises me. Seems to kind of go hand in hand. I guess one thing that surprises me, though, is that there's people who unironically think this way, like people who are so twisted that they think the world is unfair to them when really they're the asshole. You'll never see them posting in "Am I the asshole" on Reddit, because everyone knows they are. Everyone tells them that all the time. It's no secret. You know, at some point it's got to be a delusion when you're saying, "No, I'm not the asshole," to literally everyone you come across in life. And this is coming from an asshole, you know? I'm an asshole myself. I'm not very nice. I'm not the most sympathetic person. I'm very impatient. I'm not very polite these days. But I don't know, at least here I have some sort of outlet. I try to control myself. And thankfully, I do have support here where people do enjoy the content I put out, and people are very nice to me, and I like nice people, but I have zero patience for these Taebyn types who are just kind of assholes, and they make work a nightmare. And it's bizarre too, because I didn't realize Taebyn was even an asshole until he was fired. I didn't know he was a racist. I didn't know he was homophobic or bigoted. When I started here, he was very polite. He would put on like shows in the break room. He'd just watch shows. And I think the first time I ever pissed him off was when he put on Book of Boba Fett and he was asking me about it. I sort of said I'm kind of sick of Disney. I'm a bit of a snob. I don't like Disney's content. They haven't really piqued my interest in a long time. And I'm very sick of Star Wars in general. I think it's an overrated series. And yeah, I think that pissed Taebyn off because he was never really polite to me from then on in. You know, I knew very little about him, and from that point onward, he always seemed miserable. And I just sort of thought, this guy's kind of moody. Maybe I don't want to hang around him, but I'm not going to drag the guy's name through the mud, you know? He's just like a bit moody, like a lot of us are in this line of work. We're not getting paid well. And you never know people's home situations. Even now, I don't know Taebyn's home situation. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what made him the way he is today, or if he's just like this because he's twisted and thinks it's right to be racist or homophobic. And honestly, I don't know if he's just trolling, but I'm not going to entertain that notion too much. What's the point in that? But yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny that I have this sort of hierarchy for like people where if you're a little bit like lazy, if you're not like the most outgoing person, you know, if you get fired for general incompetence, you know, oh well, I have no gripes with that. I'm not going to drag that person's name through the mud. But if someone calls someone a racial slur or a homophobic slur, you know, out of like hatred and just, you know, yeah, I don't really have that kind of issue with dragging that person's name through the mud. It kind of crosses a line where it's just like, no, this person's kind of a piece of shit. It's okay to make fun of him. It's okay to push him down. And he completely unironically follows Andrew Tate. And if you're not familiar with Andrew Tate, I'm not going to get into it much. A lot of people have talked about Andrew Tate and complained about him. And it's just boring shit. It's this whole sort of Sigma male grind set sort of thing, you know, and I'm so sick of the alpha male, Sigma male crap. You know, it's all just propaganda at the end of the day. People realize they can just go full force with an ideology that maybe they don't even believe one bit, but they know there are a lot of people out there who are pathetic, single, lonely, who will communicate to them. You could turn those simpletons into money. Just like that. It's that easy. I mean, I could do alpha male stuff, even though I don't believe in it, and just make a ton of money just lying. You could just BS. That's the thing about the internet in general. That's the thing about people in general. What people know about you isn't necessarily true, even a little bit. Like this here right now could be scripted. Me talking right now, this could all be scripted. I could be reading from a script. I'm not, but it could be. And even though it isn't, even though I'm just talking and thinking, this might not really be that representative of me as a person. And, you know, I don't know. I guess I'm sort of shooting down the whole concept of this sort of video, but I think it's important to understand that a lot of people aren't really nearly as intelligent as they think they are. I think the vast majority of us have an inflated ego. We think we're smarter than we actually are. And, you know, that's why horoscopes are so compelling to a certain group of people, an unfortunately large percentage of people, because they never really say anything negative about anyone, even though we know everyone on the planet is kind of an asshole, right? Right? Is that just me? Everyone on the planet is kind of selfish, you know? Maybe this is my cynicism creeping in, but I don't know. I've been making Taebyn jokes at work for the past month. I said that we were going to fire Taebyn a month before, but the compactor was full. For those of you who don't know, the trash compactor is something we struggle with on a daily basis. Often it gets full, there are delays, the garbage people don't show up. We have to stockpile garbage for like a month, a few times a year. It's very disgusting. And I turned that into a joke. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's fun poking fun at people that we can agree are kind of assholes. It's fun to point and laugh at someone who makes an enemy out of everyone they come across. Someone who makes an enemy out of you and then falls flat on their face. It's good. It's gratifying to just point at them and laugh, even though that sounds kind of heartless. I just don't have the patience for people who I think are bad, and, you know, hate to end it on such a sour note, but I think it's good to be mean to people who are mean to others. So I think that's that. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please dislike it if you disliked it, and please report the video if it broke the terms of service. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat your broccoli.